Well, everyone's been wondering who will jump first between Xbox and PlayStation as to who will reveal the price first of the new machine, who will reveal the release date, and basically Xbox have they've done it. They've gone first, and it's an interesting price. As you'll see, the Xbox Series S is just £249 or $299, but I'm still waiting for the PlayStation 5, quite frankly. Now, the Xbox Series X is expected to be $500 and will contain a disk drive, but the S is all digital. In other words, they just can't be bothered putting a disc in there. Just like the Xbox One SAD edition, which I referred to as the Xbox One Sade, because it's the Xbox One S all digital edition. Sade, that's a much nicer name than SAD, isn't it? However, if you've got no disk drive, you can't play any of your old disc-based games. And Xbox are big on backwards compatibility. Just comparing some specs between the two, from one from Laptop Mag, I think it is, and the other one from Trusted Review, so I hope they're trusted specs as well. The Xbox Series X specs, God, it's a ridiculous name. Apparently the machine itself will just be called the Xbox, just like the original Xbox. It's just madness. So CPU has 8 cores at 3.8 gigahertz, 3.66 gigahertz with SMT. I have no idea what that means, but it's a custom Zen 2 processor. Even though they're on Zen 3 now with the AMD Ryzen 3900X, that kind of thing. I'm not too well up. I know what the PC, which I'll come to in a bit later, the PC I want to get ultimately will have a 3900X. The GPU will have 12 teraflops. Again, I wouldn't know a teraflop from a flop in a game of cards, but I understand the PlayStation 5 will have 10 teraflops, but it's not how big it is, it's how you use it. So it's all custom built, blah-de-blah, and it's what they do with it that counts. Getting on to the memory, 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory. Well, I want, in my next PC, it'll be 32 gigabytes, although that'll be DDR4. But then this is has graphics in there as well, so the graphics card I want will be an RTX 3080, which will be a GDDR6X. And you've got internal storage of 1 terabyte, which is an SSD, so everything will run nice and fast. But you also have the option of an expandable storage, 1 terabyte expansion card, which is also very handy. I mean, games are just going to get massive, and they're massive anyway. In some cases, over 100 gigabytes, and they're not going to get smaller anytime soon. And they have a performance target of 4K at 60 frames a second, up to 120 frames per second. As for the Xbox Series S, all digital, as we know, 1440p performance up to 120 frames a second at variable refresh rate, ray tracing support, which is what the X also has, 4K game upscaling, so you can upscale to a 4K TV, but it won't be native 4K. You can play back 4K media. Will it be? Yeah, but is it going to be 4K upscaling as well? Doesn't quite say on there. It also only has storage of 512 gigabytes. Well, I know Red Dead Redemption 2 on my PC was over 100 gigabytes, and then you get patches and patches added to it. It's just madness. It's not enough whatsoever. And with no external storage as an option, 512 gigabytes is going to fill up instantly. You can install, say, 3 to 4 games at a time, then uninstall the ones you're not playing in order to install more, and you're going to have to hope you've got unlimited broadband with which to download them. Now, this is mostly fine in the UK, but less of a standard in the US. So it's a very competitive price, but the lack of a disk drive? No thanks. And if you're looking to buy one without a disk drive and you buy a lot of games, you will end up spending more in the long run. And as an example, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, when it first came out in October 2018, I think it was £45 in store. I remember seeing it in Tesco, £45 for both PlayStation and the Xbox One. And exactly a month later, it was half price. So £25. Actually, no, £25. Do my maths properly. £22.50. So you wait a month and you've already saved the money, half the money. So that's, if you buy a lot of games, you've saved a load there, especially if you're buying it for someone for Christmas. Now, at the same time, both before and after, it was £50 in the respective online stores on PS4 and Xbox. So, you know, £22.50 in store for the physical version and £50 for the digital version. It's not good, is it? And look at it now. It's almost 2 years on, and we've got Shadow of the Tomb Raider. We've got £12.93 on Amazon UK there, and on the Xbox Store. I mean, it'll probably be the same on the Xbox One, I imagine. Well, £16.36. So yeah, as broad as makes no difference, but it's out of stock anyway. But it's in stock online and on the Xbox Store. £50. £50. So if you want to buy it and you don't have a disc drive, you're going to end up spending over £30 more to get it. This is a problem. Okay, so this is the definitive edition, but you just get some extra, some DLC, some downloadable weapons, blah blah blah. But it's not worth £30. Even the separate things themselves would not cost £30. But back to the release date, and it's November 10th, and it's rumoured the PlayStation 5 release date will be November 6th. Why is this rumoured? Because Dirt 5 is due to come out on the same date, and it's been announced as coming out on the PS5 and Xbox Series X. So it'll be a few days. You can buy Dirt 5 for your Xbox Series X on the 6th, and you have to wait 4 days to play it to actually get the machine. Now I have a fairly beefy PC, and I'm looking to get a more up-to-date one later this year with an RTX 3080. And the card I'd love to get. I try to think how much this costs. The colourful one, that's the iGame range, also has a little screen on it, which if the card's plugged in normally to the machine, so it's sort of horizontal, then that screen in the middle there, it'll lie flat, and then it'll basically be facing you while you're looking into the side of the machine. If you like to mount your graphics card vertically, which isn't good for airflow, I understand, then you can flip it 90 degrees and it'll still be available to view, sort of straight up, as it were. It looks cool. I dread to think how much that little extra costs, though, on top of the actual graphics card itself, which is around about £649 in the UK, thereabouts. But back to the Xbox. I also have a load of original Xbox and Xbox 360 games. And for those that can do backwards compatibility, I can put those in my Xbox One S, which was only £200 in October 2016. And it can play 4K discs. Now, I just wish the PS5 would play PS1 to 3 games, but although they've not confirmed that, it's looking unlikely. Now, at £249, it's also around the same price as the Intellivision Amico. But while both are games consoles, the Amico is more of a family-orientated console, so a bit like the Wii in a way. However, given that the Amico has been delayed until at least April 2021, and if you paid a deposit of $100, which is refundable, this could result in people cancelling their pre-orders and jumping on the Xbox Series S bandwagon instead. In fact, if you put money down on the Kickstarter for the ZX Spectrum Next, the new Kickstarter that ends on the 10th this week, that's around £325 plus postage for the accelerated version with the Wi-Fi and the Pi Zero, compared to £235 in the first Kickstarter. So you're spending more than the Xbox Series S. Either way, when it comes to the PS5, it's been rumoured that the regular edition will be $500 and the all-digital, I hate that word, edition will be $400. Yes, that's more than the Xbox Series S $300, but it'll also have the same power as a PS5 and not scaled down specifications. However, the casual buyer who doesn't know this and just wants a console for little Johnny for Christmas to play the latest games, they'll just see $300 versus $400 and go for the cheaper one. So I still want the all singing and dancing PS5, but we're going to see what happens tomorrow, because that's when Sony are reportedly revealing more information about the PS5. And at this point, there's no reason for them not to reveal the price and the date. Okay, thanks very much for watching. Please like this video and share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. Click on the little bell for all our notifications, and cue Genesis.